Hello, Internet, and welcome to a very special and different Tales of the Valiant this evening. We do not have our full party because the majority of our full party are in Philadelphia doing awesome and wonderful things at PAX Unplugged. We love you, adventurers. We love you so much. But tonight,
Be safe, have fun.
yes, be safe, have fun, do the thing. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Actually, maybe don't do that.
Do all the
Don't do that.
things I wouldn't do because I'm
This
not
is
there to do
okay,
them.
so we've now established that I'm the angel on the shoulder and you're the not angel on the other shoulder.
Oh, I'll take that gladly.
Cool.
Cujo will lead you down the path of righteousness. I'm going to lead you down the path that rocks.
Sure. Anyway, tonight we are going to be doing a very special flashback session for one Merosha. Before we begin, uh Ian, would you like to introduce yourself to the stream?
Sure. What's going on, everybody? It's Ian or your boy Big on all social media. And of course, I'm going to be playing Merosha, the half orc, blue blade loving pirate. Um, that's it.
All right. Well, I suppose there's no way to begin other than getting it started.
Beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to start actually in the captain's quarters of the ship that you finally have reclaimed. The room around you has a both a heartwarming and a bit of a bittersweet familiarity, as this was once somebody else's captain's quarters. And Merosha, I would like to know, as you stand there, Filber has left, and everybody is relaxing, drinking, getting tormented by King, normal things. What is going through Merosha's head as you sit in the captain's quarters?
It's it's weird because the idea of having the ship back does bring joy to Merosha. At the same time, I think the sense of responsibility has begun to weigh on him. Not being responsible for the people who are on the ship, but the responsibility of not allowing this to be taken again. Um, I think as he puts down the coat and he puts the hat next to the coat on the desk, he rubs his hand over the side of the chair that's by the desk, and it's nothing grand, um, but it's like a very strong, sturdy oak chair, and it's almost as though that he takes a point of position next to the chair, hesitant to sit in it, although it's his. Um, he finally sits down, he sits in it, and he begins to have a posture of authority. He takes his hand, he leans it on the armrest, and he leans his hand in almost this thinking, powerful stance position. And then, as soon as he realizes that's the position he's taking, he begins to cry. This very stone faced, no noise, rolling tear. And he slumps over his knees and puts his face in his hands as he just begins to cry. Going from a seated position of power to a almost broken, docile position of emotion and sadness in the same seat that should hold so much power brings so much confusion to him in this moment.
You hold yourself. You feel those tears. You feel your heart. And when you pick your head up, you're not in the captain's quarters. You're not on the Parano. You haven't met Maris, Sybil, Gavel, King. You don't even have the trident. When your head picks up, you're in a bar. It is a relatively raucous evening, but that party was a little cut short, as I would say about 2 minutes prior, you were flanked by two large gentlemen uh, and forcibly dragged over to another table where your head was then slammed into the wood. And as your gaze sort of somewhat normalizes, sitting across from you in a very authoritative but intrigued position sits a woman, a water ganassi. Her skin is this deep blue with a little bit of a green hue, and the green sort of highlights on her cheeks almost like it's blush. Her lips are made up with a beautiful blue lipstick, and her hair is a bright, almost sky blue with almost natural highlights where it deepens and it sort of flares out in this crazy fro that she has tamed. And so these beautiful curls just sort of hang down perfectly as it sort of parts. She wears a solid set of leather armor, and you can just tell at a glance that it has seen many fights, both the bar variety and otherwise. She is also flanked by 3 other individuals, one of which is a human male that will eventually be introduced as Damien. But the woman who stares down at you as you pick your head up looks with a smirk. Really? She looks at one of the men. This is the one who stole from our ship? Damien says, I mean, I thought, I saw him do it. That's
Stealing is a very, very strict term for the 6 of you to be saying. I'd like to think that it was gently liberating for people I stole from you. Yes. Sorry. We just, is this going to be a major party? There's like 12 of you.
There's a little bit of a snicker that escapes her, and she looks at you like, this motherfucker. I have to give credit. At least you just admitted it. You didn't have to spend so much time wasting hours by coming up with some story or some sob bullshit.
What story? I don't have a story.
Yeah. Oh, you don't?
Mm-mm.
So you just you appeared in this bar and that's it? You just sit and drink all the time?
Not all the time. Sometimes I fight, and sometimes I piss. It just depends on how much I've had to drink.
She looks past you at the bartender, and there's this clear recognition between her and the bartender who's sitting and polishing one of the tankards, and he just looks up. No, he's been here a while. And she looks at the dents in the wall, the furniture that looks like at some point within the last week it had been damaged, and she just says,
in my defense, none of this furniture is what I like to refer to as and he kind of leans forward a little bit. He's like, big man certified.
do you need I should be killing you. Do you need water? Do you want some water?
Uh, uh, as long as somebody pretty like yourself is offered.
You make a perception check.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
I
right. We're
would say it's
still
at
rolling dice
disadvantage.
in this flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and make it with disadvantage because you are off
Disadvantage.
of your ass.
Yeah, very much so. Okay. 12.
Okay. With a 12, I'll say that that's enough. You catch a glance fly like amongst all of the like henchmen. And she Damien, and he goes, "Are you kidding me? Go and get this very gentlemanly thief a glass of water, please." Dean's like,
Yeah, with no ice, it messes with my teeth. And you, I think, noticeably, Merosha's tusks on the bottom are very outwardly grown at this point. It messes with my teeth, the sensitive gums. And I have a question. Which one of these gentlemen was the one who hit me?
that'll be Henrik, the one right behind you.
Thank you. Turned around and then stick out my hand and was like, hell of a hit.
This like 6'4", 6'5" human man with like long blonde ruddy hair, a crazy beard, like scars all over his face, like looks at the woman, and she just sort of shrugs. Yeah, no, thanks. And he clasps your hand.
When I grasp his hand, I want to jerk him very close to where he also hits the bar.
Make an athletics check.
Sure.
I'll say with advantage because you have. Well, it's not going to matter. I just roll a natural one.
Oh, great. I'm still gonna take that advantage. Athletics. It's a plus. That's a +4. It gives me a 19.
Okay. Narratively speaking, what is your goal with this?
I'm not really aiming to hurt him so badly. This is more so a display for our newfound water genasi friend. Merosha grabs his arm and goes, hell of a hit. And he looks at him and he jerks him really hard to where he hits it and he's just like, oh, like he does one of these. And then Merosha turns over to his newfound friend and he goes, it's going to take a lot more than what this bar has to get me that drunk.
Huh. And behind you, Henrik is like, oh, my fucking nose. Like, it's immediately bleeding. The other guys start to move closer and she says, no. You know, in fact, you guys are annoying. Go get a drink. Relax. There's a booth over there. Go chill. I got this.
These are your friends, compatriots. What are these? Your crew?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And they start slowly moving away. Damien, like half drops, half slams a tankard of water in front of you. No ice, but he made sure that there were like 2 full lemon wedges like in there. Like, fuck you.
This is very thoughtful of you, young man. I love a little citrus in my water.
And he like catches a whiff of your breath. I'm gonna go by the Damien, it's fine. They all eventually meander off, but she says, yeah, they're my crew. They're not the best. A little bit, they're assholes from time to time, but they do their part.
They're not anything. I'm surprised that they've lasted this long. This one, pointing at the one bleeding, he doesn't even know what he's doing. Watch, when he sits down and he goes to pay for whatever drink, he's going to be missing this.
Huh. And sure enough, she looks, and he reaches and starts freaking out as he can't find his coin purse. And she's like, "What's your name?"
I we no, not interested.
Oh,
Thank you.
no. Oh, let's be clear. I'm asking your name so that I can know who I'm speaking with. I'm not the, that's as far as that goes.
Well, I mean, you say that now, but usually it starts with the name, then it goes to a drink, and then a drink to a dance to a song, and the next thing you know, I'm asking you what you want for breakfast. And if everything goes well, it'll be on your friend over there.
Hmm, interesting. So rehearsed and so well thought out. Does that work on other people with no standards, maybe? Because that sounded a little sad. I'm just,
60% of the time, it works every time.
oh, is that why there's that dent in the wall over there where you just pissed that you didn't get laid that night?
I didn't make that dent. Well, I didn't. I didn't make that dent from anything off of me. So if you go look, there might still be like a tooth in there.
Hmm. Fine. Fist. I am Rain.
Wonderful to meet you, Ray. I the fist.
Yeah. I don't know. Apparently we're not exchanging names, so that's what you're getting. And if you have a problem with that, I got nothing to tell you.
I like it. I've been called worse.
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
Who's being who's being sassy now?
Sorry, just let me have that one. Um, so,
Yeah.
Fist. What? So you just spend your time in a bar, occasionally stealing from ships that pass through? What's the goal? What's your lofty dream?
I don't really have one. People got to eat, right? And I may find respite in stealing from people who I kind of feel deserve it or who could go without.
Hmm.
Other times I find myself just being a shiphead. I recently found myself alone. Um my father he had passed some time ago, and sadly, being that I don't know my actual family, he was all I had. He was the one who gave me my name.
Fist is a good name.
Strong. It's a good generational name.
There's a shift in her expression as she sort of like takes in that the what you just said. Sorry.
Thank you. It's I definitely I definitely don't think this is what he would have planned for me to do, but I really uh I just couldn't be I mean I could have stayed, just continued on with our small little farm, but I couldn't. I
You felt the breeze.
smelled the ocean. Yeah.
You know, listen, the stealing from our ship, you clearly brutalizing Henrik and stealing from him at the same time. It's impressive. If you're not up to anything in particular, um, I could use someone with sticky fingers on my crew. Consider the money that you stole as a hiring bonus.
Okay. And be lumped up with this group.
I mean, yeah, they need roughing up from time to time. Plus, I mean, all due respect, you look like you could use a little bit more experience on the sea. But again, that is entirely up to you. I mean, I wouldn't want to take you away from the glory that is this bar.
I mean, and honestly, what a glory it is. Barstool, my throne.
Mm,
These loyal patrons, my
mm,
subjects.
mm.
What else could a man want?
The smell of the sea.
Feel of the breeze.
Well, we are going to be leaving tomorrow to get back out there. So I guess I'll leave it up to you. You know which ship it is, so I suppose you already know where to go if you're interested in joining up. But in the meantime, and she'll look at the bartender and kind of give a look. Bartender will nod. Just take care of your tab for the night.
We'll do. It was a pleasure.
Or get that sappy shit out of here. And she'll like stand up with a little bit of a smirk.
Merosha looks at the bartender and he goes, "Was that sappy? Was that sappy? I thought it was just polite." What's wrong with you people here?
What do you do? Eventually, the crew and Rain step out. They file out. Damien gives one last glare in your direction before he follows suit.
I do this with the water. I think once they file out and they kind of like go down the way a little bit, like Merosha stands at the edge of the bar and he goes to the bartender and he's like, "I guess there's only one way to do this." He takes out a coin. You call it.
I'm calling it. Tails. And as you flip it, he says, "Because we both know you're chasing hers."
I did. What? And like he doesn't even realize
Ding,
the
ding,
coin.
ding.
I think with that rib, like Merosha pays his tab. He doesn't initially pay attention to the coin, but as he walks out, he looks at it, and when he sees it, he goes, "Hmm. Oh well." And he leaves the bar.
All right. Well, the evening is yours. What did Merosha do that night?
I think as the night got very late, like your 1 a.m., 2 a.m.s, he went down to the docks and he sees the ship. He's seen it before. And then he walks past it and goes to like the part of the dock to where it like edges off the pier. And he steps off the pier and he wades into the water up to his waist. And he just kind of stands there, arms out, kind of like as if you were to like gently graze your hand over a flowery field. He's doing the same thing with the waves and the water. And then he sits down to where it comes up to here, and he's kind of got his head pulled up, and he's just allowing any of those small waves to kind of like splash him in the face, and he stands back up and he's like, "Why can't I feel that anywhere else?"
I will give you an extra little thing. As you are standing in the water, you turn and you look, and it looks like the captain's quarters, the windows at the rear of the ship, are illuminated by lantern light. And you look a little closer and you can see Rain. and she is starting to undo some of the straps on her armor. She removes the pauldron and the chest piece, and she's got like a standard um, sort of cloth shirt underneath. But she sets the armor on a stand next to the table, and you see as she moves to the window and slowly opens it and just sort of like hands on the banister, just looks out into the horizon. Doesn't see you in the water, but she just you see her take this deep breath, and she just stands out there.
I think initially Merosha doesn't realize that she can't see him.
Mhm.
And when she opens up the banister, he kind of like, he's like, and he just submerges himself. just, he submerges himself. He panics.
I
He
love
panics.
Merosha so much.
Like he's standing there and he's watching it, and then she opens it, and this is how it would look. He's like this. He's like, and then goes under to where it's kind of like right up to here, water up his nose. But then when he realizes he can't like see, like she can't really see him, he kind of like pokes out a little bit, and he's kind of just like looking at her, just
Hmm.
you know, mannerisms, habits. The first thought in his head is, she can't be all that bad. It's a good ship. Crew's a little shitty, but I mean, aren't we all? And he gets out the water, goes back on the pier, and he kind of just strolls down a little bit to the morning.
Okay. The morning comes. There's a bustle of activity along the docks. The Perino is sort of stalling at the pier. There's some conversation amongst the crew members, but where do we find Merosha?
I think we don't actually. We don't. He's not visible. He's not active, and I think the ship actually does leave.
Mm-hmm. There's a moment where Henrik, now with a busted up face and a very clear migraine, sort of approaches Rain. We've we need to go. Like we need to move along. He's not coming. And Rain just sort of heaves a small sigh and shakes her head. Uh, yeah. Let's just get back to the Isles then. Um, and she'll close her eyes and shake her head as the Perino eventually, slowly starts to leave the dock and go out into the open sea. Go ahead.
I think once they're out into open water, everybody goes into their respective routines. You know, maintaining the ship, setting direction. And did we always have that tarp? What is that? Like, I think there's like whispers on the ship about that. Like, did we pick that up the last time?
If anything, Damien's like, guys, it's a fucking tarp. We have many. What the fuck is the problem? Yeah, it's on the deck. Who gives a shit? It's like stomping around like fuck people up in arms. It's just a fucking tarp.
I think when Damien walks past, an arm just bursts out and grabs his foot. And like tarp flips over. Merosha goes, woo! That was the best night of sleep of my life. Have we left yet?
Every crew member is now turned and glaring at you as they're out, you're out on the open sea now.
Yep. What?
And what the fuck are you doing on here?
I was invited.
You just hear this like collective from everybody. Um, Eventually, Rain does step out as she is immediately informed of a stowaway. And just as she like you see she's walking out onto the deck with this look of like, I'm gonna fucking kill whoever it was. And then the moment she sees you, that expression shifts. Oh, the king of the tavern has arrived and graced us with his presence.
Merosha does this. He's like,
Hmm. Yeah.
oh,
What were you saying about your loyal subjects, the patrons of the bar?
well, yeah, as patrons go, they're so boring.
Hmm.
There's only so many times that you can regale them of your exploits and stories. Hey, come on, you're gonna make me do this?
Oh, I mean, you left me waiting and we left, so I feel like it's kind of fitting. So I think you should keep going.
I've been here the whole time. What do you mean?
Hmm. Have you?
Yeah, you were standing over there, and then Heinrich came up, and he was just like, "We should go. He's not coming." Which, like, in that moment, I was going to come out and be like, "Surprise!" But I just kind of wanted to see what happened after. And you
Hmm.
do this very funny thing with your nose when you're frustrated. It kind of like wrinkles up, and then you get these things on your cheeks. It's like they're like rain clouds, little rain clouds.
That little blush on her cheeks gets a little bit more intense, and you can hear it's quiet, but you can hear someone on the deck go, "Oh."
She's in the back. Oh, it's so nice.
Oh, that's really sweet.
And he's like, yeah, like that.
Hmm.
And I knew once I saw that, I wanted to see more. But I'm sure, Captain, I should be getting to work.
Yes, I was gonna say start swabbing.
Absolutely.
Hmm. She rolls her eyes and starts making her way back towards the captain's quarters. And your invitation to the crew of the Parano is accepted. I'll say a few months go by. And your relationship with Rain is still in that obvious flirty,
Mm-hmm.
somewhat playful stage. There are times when she very clearly is in captain mode. Um, you've done a couple of jobs, you've salvaged a couple of ships, but there's one night where you can hear some of the crew sort of muttering about something below deck. Um, and every time you walk by, it's like that muttering gets quieter.
Yeah.
And at one point, Damien is a part of that conversation. And instead of just quieting down like everybody else seems to, when he sees you, he says, "What?"
You tell me. Apparently, we're having a safety meeting and I wasn't invited.
Not everything on this ship is your business, despite what the captain might have you think.
Although that is true, I tend to make it my business when hush whispers when I'm around tend to happen. Means one of two things. You're either talking about me or talking against me. And I don't like either.
Well, I'll let you think about which one it is. It shouldn't be too hard for someone as intelligent as you to figure out.
Jimmy, what is your problem with me? What did I do to you?
What did you do? You what? You stole from us. And he kind of like
I
gets in your face a little bit. You stole from us. and you got a fucking job offer from it. Not only
It
that,
sounds like an interview. I don't. What's your
oh,
problem?
get fucked. Do
Listen,
you know how long I've been on this ship?
I don't know. A
Yeah.
year.
No, try 5, fucker. So
Okay.
someone
What
like
are you mad at
you,
me for?
it took you nothing. There was no repercussion for what you did. And every time captain's on deck, it's all, oh, Merosha this, oh, Merosha that. Fuck you. We're tired of
We looks around. We
it. So several of the crew members are like, Damien, what the fuck? And they're like
we.
looking
Oh,
down at the table.
so it's we now. And do all of you agree with this sentiment? Do all of you have a problem about how I made it upon this ship? Or do all of you just don't have your own spine and you're going to allow this boy to speak for you? Especially someone like you, Heinrich. Come on. I didn't do
Look,
anything. We just finished a job. How lined were your pockets? I would say greatly. And you over there, what is your name again?
It's Filbert.
Filbert, my man Filbert. How many times have I pulled your ass out of the fire in the past several months? I'm not earning my keep in here.
But actually, I haven't started any fires for you to pull me out of. But I suppose if one ever did start,
and Heinrich's like, we get it. We get it, Filbert. It's okay. Um,
But
as
we all feel this way.
as the argument and the confrontation
Yeah.
continues to grow, you hear the blast of a pistol go off. And standing at the entrance of the staircase that leads down below deck is Rain. She's got her gun up at the sky. And
Merosha
she
just like he doesn't do it loudly, but he's like,
she slowly starts walking down, and as she does, she starts reloading. Last I checked, and she's again, you just hear the clinking of the gun as she readies another round. Who serves on my ship is nobody's decision but mine. And she finishes reloading just as she hits the bottom of the stairs. And she sort of turns to look right at Damien. And last I checked, Merosha has done more in his few months than you have since you got here. But I can see a little bit of a problem. So I have a solution. It's one that you all weirdly love because you're in love with pain, I guess. I don't fucking get it. But here's what we're going to do. If you think he hasn't proven himself, we'll have him prove himself right now. And the moment he does, you all can shut the fuck up, or I can shoot this gun again and throw you off of my ship. And everyone quiets down. Damien's face goes a little white. So, and she turns to Henrik, get the box.
the box. There's a box.
Are you sure we have to? I mean, we don't need to. No, I believe I said it. Go on. You know where it is.
The box. If you we're always whispering about a box. I don't know anything about a box.
There is a murmur as some other crewmates who are like also below deck but not a part of this conversation hear the box, and their heads like like immediately turn, and they slowly start to make their way over.
And Merosha sees that and he's just like, "Oh, the box. We're still no one's."
The crew clear off the table of their tankards. They clear off their plates. All their food is removed as Henrik appears around the corner holding a large wooden crate with 2 holes cut in the top, wide enough that arms could fit through. And as he is bringing it to the table, it like shifts and moves, and you can hear this like like some weird
Um,
wet sounds coming from within, and it is
is this
visibly
the box?
shaking.
This is the box. This is the box. Hmm.
Rain looks at you. Yes, this is the box. And Henrik like places the crate down on this wooden table with a thud. And Rain says, I put 5 platinum in a bag, and I hid them in that crate, and nobody has been able to get it out. It's sort of a weird rite of passage that everybody attempt. Everybody has failed. So consider this your rite of passage, Fist. Since apparently you're not doing enough and they need to see you have a little bit of pain, my gift to you. And she just gestures.
So I just put my hand in what's in the box.
5 platinum.
Okay, then how come nobody's been able to get it if it's just in the box?
Well, you'd probably have to figure that out for yourself. Don't worry.
It's moving.
Oh, yeah, it does that. It does that a lot, actually. But don't worry. You'll get feeling in your hands back at some point.
Feeling in my hands. Feeling in my hand. He looks around, looks at Filbert, and he goes, Did you do this too? Did you put your hand in?
I did. But it's so big, I almost fell in. And it was a bit of a... I don't like to talk about that time.
Okay. This is a box. This is a box. What's wrong with you? This box moving. Merosha looks into the box. Does he see anything?
Make a perception check. Do you have dark vision as an orc?
Yeah.
Okay.
17.
With a 17, you can see some sort of shape like slither on the bottom of the box, and you see another one and then another, and you start to realize that there are several eels piled on top of one another in this box. There's a little bit of water so that they can like fucking live and survive and shit. But yeah, with your dark vision, you can catch the details that these are electric eels.
He looks in the box. He sees it. He picks his head up and he goes, The box.
The box.
And I'm to and the box for 5 platinum. 5 platinum is in
5
here?
platinum?
5 platinum.
I swear on my ship there are 5 platinum in that crate.
No, I believe you. It's just the box. Okay. And no one's succeeded. Not a you? You?
Me? You're
Yeah.
asking Rain this?
Yeah.
Why would I try? I'm the fucking captain. Why would I have to do this? No, it's on
That's
the
true.
crew
You're right.
to
No,
earn
you're
their
right.
place here. Besides, I put the platinum in there. Why would I try to go fish it back out?
I don't know. I thought I'm stalling for time.
I know. I know. It's kind of adorable.
Oh. Okay. Very visible nervousness, and he's like, Hey, Filbert, you still got any of that hooch? What was it, the word or the face?
I brewed it in the toilet this morning.
Yeah. I'm gonna need the toilet hooch for this one. Yeah.
All right. And he takes a bottle that you can't tell if the... How do I put this? You cannot tell if the stains on the inside of the bottle are from the bottle having just been dirty, or if that's what is in the hooch. But he presents you with a bottle of alcohol that he made this morning
In the toilet.
in the toilet.
Yeah, I've seen the latrines. Okay. Well, I assume this is not. This is okay. This is fine.
Oh, if you didn't, I would have been concerned.
Good. Boop. And he slams the whole thing, like, which I would assume is the size of like your 750.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he slams it and he puts it down and he's like, okay. Some of that wasn't the bottle. Some of that was the hooch. Okay. Look, blurred vision. Okay. Here I go. Watch my speed. He approaches the box and he sees the eels slithering around and kind of like the static from each of them, and he's like, and you can kind of see like determination going into anger, flipping a little to rage, and then to concern all at once in his eyes. And he's just like, fuck it. He grabs the bottle, he smashes it, and he dives his hand into the eels.
Okay. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Great. I'm so good at that. So good. Actually, I am.
I was like, yeah, you're a fighter and you're an orc.
Yeah. Shit. Dirty 20.
All right. You are going to take, and none of this matters. It's really just narrative damage. In fact, I'm not even going to give you a number because you're going to, it's fine.
Yeah.
Wow, I really just talked that through with myself. Thank you. You the first like 30 seconds were a little intense because that's when you first started feeling the shocks, and you feel your hands start to sort of maneuver and twitch of their own accord as the muscles are being shocked.
And I feel like I agitated them with the broken bottle.
Yeah,
like as
yeah.
like,
Yeah, you did.
The eels were like, oh hell no.
What the fuck is this shit?
What the fuck is this?
I don't know why I made
part of the rules.
I don't know why I made the eels sassy, but you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, eels are sassy. Fuck it. They're just like, yeah.
So stupid. You go the 30 seconds and everyone's kind of like, no, he's done. And then like you keep going, and then their like jeers start to like shift to like, oh, he's still going. How is he still going?
His gaze, like wildly intense, like moves from the box and goes like directly to Rain. And it's not like intimidating, it's not anything. It's sure idiotic determination, egotistical like blight, just like as he's like still going and he's breathing so heavy. But he is making sure he maintains eye contact with Rain, because for some reason in this moment, as much pain as he is enduring in this, all he can hear is the sound of waves. And he's looking dead at her face. And to her, to him, it's like secret lovers. Like to him. But to her, she sees this. She's like, he's just,
I need to save that as a clip because that needs to go to LB so that we can get a GIF of that. So stupid. Oh my god. She there's a moment where she's like, what the fuck? But then I'm saving the clip now.
Great.
Sorry, I know we're breaking the immersion. Okay,
No.
there's so stupid. There's the moment of like, oh, okay, we're doing this, I guess, and then she eventually is like, maybe it's the shock from the eels, maybe it's the pain that you're in, maybe it is the tension of the room around you. But even in this state where you are making the most maniacal fucking face at her, she legitimately, for the first time, smiles and laughs. And it is a very adorable sight. You find 3 of the platinum before you have to take your hands out, because you're going to permanently lose feeling if you don't. Like, you know this. And the entire crew, like, the moment you retrieve the 3rd one and eventually, like, throw in the towel, it doesn't matter, because everyone is giving you, like, shoulder pats. Everyone's, like, cheering. One of them, like, puts a tankard in your hand and then realizes you don't have feeling in your hand, so they, like, offer to, like, dip it into your mouth.
I think the 4th attempt, when he tries to get the next platinum, he pulls out an eel and just tosses it into the air.
Well, and I want to see something. Oh, okay. You toss it and it goes like right by Damien's head, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
I didn't get all 5. Just give me 30 minutes now.
Rain gestures to Henrik. Put the box away. I think he's done enough. And he's like,
No, don't put the box away. I can do it.
Henrik takes the box away. As Rain,
he's not fighting it. He's like,
Yeah.
no.
You're just gesturing at him. All the crew celebrate. Everybody parties with you. All of that tension and animosity, like, all because all you had to do was wrestle some eels, seems to vanish. And it doesn't take too long before you can start to feel your hands again. And it's the first time that Rain has sat and drank and partied with the crew in quite a long time. And you can see this. It's a family. Like, they're dysfunctional. The crew's a bit. The crews are a bit of a bitch, and like, Damien's an asshole. But like, you just see this moment of like everybody laughing and making fun of the face that you were making, or talking about the, like, just everybody's smiling and laughing and having a wonderful time. And eventually, Rain sort of slowly rises from her chair and like finishes her goblet, sets it down. Well, I expect you guys to make sure that the ship is coursed correctly, and do your duties and whatever bullshit. I am going to retire for the evening. And you just hear this collective like, oh, as like, Rain can fucking keep up. Like, she outdrinks Henrik and pretty much everybody else on the crew. She's a bit of a badass.
She's a water genasi. Hell yeah, she
Exactly.
can.
And as she makes her way towards the stairs, while all the conversation sort of picks back up, she just looks back at you. Welcome to the crew.
Captain.
And there's a moment where she just lingers for an extra second. And then she laughs to herself and then slowly starts making her way up the stairs.
Merosha sees that finishes his drink. Then he looks over to the crew and he's like, "We're gonna finish this conversation tomorrow because I swear I heard there are 4 flavors of Boulade that are coveted, and I'm going to find them."
This is where the legend started.
He's like, "I heard about it. I've seen one, haven't tasted it, but we're gonna figure this out. Excuse me a moment." He walks up the stairs, kind of like trying to catch up with Rain.
uh, she's like approaching her quarters when you finally catch up with her, and she hears the footsteps and turns. I, can I help you? You've already hurt yourself plenty. I don't have any healing potions if that's what you're looking for.
No, I just I wanted to make sure that you got to your quarters safely. You had a lot to drink. I didn't want you to like stumble or
Mm,
anything.
interesting. Um, yeah, I'm fine. Are you?
Oh, great. I'm fine.
Oh,
Everything's great.
really? Still?
I can, well, I mean, I can do this, but
Mm.
this is my sailing hand, so I'll figure it out.
It's got the shakes.
Yeah.
She says, "That's really unfortunate. I was going to leave my door unlocked and invite you in, but if you need time to regain the feeling in your hands, I wouldn't want
Well, you look at that. The gods have blessed upon me a miracle. Woo, thank
to."
the gods.
Hmm. She, still facing you, reaches back and opens the door so that it swings open. She says, "Are you going to come in, or should I just sit here and wait for you to pick me up and carry me in?"
He kind of does one of those like, well, I mean, like, I just don't want, and he picks her up.
The two of you begin your relationship. Well, if you can call it that.
Mm.
She reveals some stuff about her past, stuff she's not told anybody. And even though she gives this impression that it is casual, not a lot to it, can't help but feel like there's something under that surface that's waiting to be acknowledged. She explains, "You know what? Let this be a little RP moment. One night after activities."
Twister.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
yeah, what else would you do? Um she says, "Yeah, do you mind me asking you a personal question? I was always curious about it, but I never really followed up on it."
Merosha looks down at himself, not wearing any pants, and he goes, "Yeah, you ask whatever you'd like."
Well, when we met, you said your father had passed.
Yeah.
Mind if I ask how?
Yeah. It's tale of time. His old age. My my father found me a wild, screaming mess running through the forest nearby his farm. I don't remember before that. All I remember is running. It was probably the worst storm that I can remember in my entire life. I was I felt like I was being chased by what or whom I don't know, and I was so young. I ended up on his farm purely out of exhaustion. It says a lot about him having someone someone so young and so erratic show up on his doorstep in the middle of a storm to not to think to kill them out of their own safety, but to bring them in. It was a good time. The best thing that could have happened to me, and I don't even know if that's the truth because I don't know what happened before that. Nothing for me happened before that. He gave me my name. And he said that Merosha is it's a statement of power. It's a statement of honor. Apparently in his native language, you give that name to someone who managed a great feat. And I don't understand why. What I am proud of is that he gave me his last name, Merosha Gant. He's a sheep herder. He's a simple man, but strong, smart, resilient, very caring. But time took him. But not without him enjoying one of the things that he always did. I would see him sometimes very early in the morning before the sun would come up, and he would wade out into the water up to his waist, and he would gently just caress the small waves as if this was his own power, his comfort, security blanket, whatever you want to call it. But even as he got older, every time he stepped into that water, the years faded off of him. Until I found him washed up on the shore. He went out how he wanted to, in the embrace of the one thing that never let him down, no matter how many times that I could have, being a young man. Anytime I touch the water, I'm holding my father's hand.
She cups your cheek and just holds you. Now I understand what you were doing that night.
You could see me? Damn it! I knew.
I could see you.
I tried to. I freaked out. I didn't want you to think I was peeping.
Around like a fish on the beach. That didn't help.
I didn't want you to think that I was peeping because I wasn't. I was there first, technically. This whole time.
Yes, this whole time.
Damn it! All right.
You and I have a lot more in common than I thought, and it's off-putting. I'm not used to that, but I know some of that feeling of watching somebody fade and wondering if they were going to wake up the next day. And it's the worst feeling because it's somebody who's always been there since you were a child. You remember the games you used to play. You remember the dinners, the fights, the warm memories. And to see them fade when they shouldn't. They shouldn't leave you. They shouldn't disappear. They can't. They're not supposed to. I'm sorry you. I'm sorry you went through that. And to be honest, I don't ever want it to get to that point for me. I never want to stop sailing. I never want to stop finding more places. I never want any of this to stop. Because if it does, then it means that it has an ending. And I don't ever want to be in that position where I'm the one fading. Because what's left of me at the end is not how I lived. It's not the adventures. It's not the crazy nights of drinking or nights with you. It's all anybody will see is someone dying. And I I don't want that.
He looks at her and he's like, You're. I am motivated by your ambition. The crew is motivated by your ambition. And if for some reason in the next 100 years, it is your time, trust me, you won't fade away. There will be hundreds of people who will remember. If I have anything to say about it. And for the next 100 years, and even after that, you won't have to worry about watching somebody leave you. Because if everyone else does, I'll still be here.
You can't make that promise.
I just did.
Jesus, what the hell? I have a gift for you.
Another
don't
one?
know how. Oh,
What? I
yeah.
thought I was gift giving today.
Yeah.
I
Okay. You done?
also like that thing that you.
I can
Nope. I
go
also
take it
like that
back to
thing.
the merchant. It's fine. We're
You
actually just
can't
a couple
because we're in
days.
the middle of the ocean.
Such an
I'm
asshole.
kidding. I'm kidding. Please.
Mm.
What is it?
Mm. She gets out of bed, and she has never cared that there are windows. She has never cared because this is her space.
Yeah.
But she is completely naked as she walks over to her desk and pulls out two boxes. One is very clearly a box from a Zisoran mage. Like the whatever she got from a Zisoran mage, that is some expensive ass shit. The other is a small white box that she just sort of tucks away under her arm. But she comes back to bed and she holds the two boxes out. Pick one.
Which one doesn't have the eels in it?
Oh, I should probably take these back then. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very honest. If any of them have eels, please do.
I promise neither of them have eels.
Not even one.
Not even one. Okay, technically not even one.
Okay. um, that one, the one that you tucked away.
Fine. She's not really surprised that you didn't pick the expensive box that clearly came from a high level mage,
Mhm.
but she presents this small white box. And as you open it, Ian, I would like you to describe the bracelet.
um, is it both of them or just one of them?
It's one of them.
It's a very simple put together bracelet. It's a hardy leather um, woven bracelet. It's a little bit larger in size to fit the party at hand, but there is a black obsidian stone in the middle, unrefined. Um, it's definitely this was a labor of love from someone, and the unrefinedness of it adds to its charm and adds to its meaning. And on the inside of the bracelet, um, it has very, very small etchings in the leather, right? And it says, "In the arms of a storm." And he picks it up and he's just like, did you make this? Like, did you?
I may have had some craftability taught to me when I was a kid, so yes.
This is, and he's putting it on like he's very excited, and he's like, it's one of those things to where you gotta pull both strings to tighten it. So he's got one piece on his teeth and the other one in
Yep.
his hand. He's just like, okay, this is this is this is everything to me. My a beautiful rain cloud. All right, all right. I know the all the sappy. What's in the big one?
Hmm. Well, now I kind of don't know if I should give you the big one because, like, I
Okay,
don't
well,
know if you
you've asked
need
for this.
anything.
And then he goes and he starts tickling her sides. Give me the box. Give me the box. I want the box.
She squeals and laughs and giggles, but eventually she gives it to you. And inside you see a pair of gloves with powerful arcane runes etched into these plates of platinum on the back of the hand. I figure since you were the only one to actually pull any of the platinum out of the box, and I mean that box, I figured we could put it to some good use.
Oh, this. Oh, I'm gonna put them on.
Yeah, yeah.
No. He puts them on, and they're like, they're definitely fighting gloves. They're fingerless, but the platinum inlay with the runes are on the back, almost kind of like a reinforcement, but it's not so. And he's like, it's almost like you knew my size.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
great.
It's almost like we've been sleeping together for a while now.
Yeah,
And it
it's
wasn't
fine.
really that much to figure out.
So I have a question. If someone else pulled out the platinum of the box, would they get the same gift? Hmm?
You know, I could still take those back. We are about 2 days from Zasori. We probably
No, you
you
can't.
know,
You're
if
very
you don't.
short and I'm very tall. You can't do
Oh,
it.
oh, I can kick you in the nuts real hard, and you
Would
will
it be
not
the
regret
first
it.
time tonight?
Bastard. But some time passes, and you get a hint on an interesting haul that could yield some decent money. It's not as impressive as the tip said. The crew pulls up this old, rotted chest that was supposed to be part of some old nobleman's ship from some age far past, that instead uh, nature and the sea had basically reclaimed. This was the only thing that they could pry from the sea's cold hands. Inside, there were some coin, only about 35 gold pieces, a number of old journals that had long since sort of um, bloated and eroded in the water. But you see a trident that has been broken in two, rusted over. The points have been dulled and chipped away from some of the debris and just time. But Rain looks at this. Well, this is a fucking waste. What the hell is this shit?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess my point of contact was not so good, but
Oh,
it's
don't.
something.
It is something. It's fine. It'll get us some food next time we're in town. I'm not that worried about it.
Yeah.
I suppose we can just toss the rest of this shit overboard. It's not like we're gonna use it.
Well, take the right, put the gold into the ship's treasury, like you said, for food. But I think I'm going to keep this. He picks up the two pieces of the trident.
As you pick up the two pieces of the trident, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, okay. 18.
You feel a chill run up your spine for just a moment before it fades. I'm not quite sure what caused it. Maybe it was the breeze. This trident looks old, much older
Mm-hmm.
than even the chest. Could be made into something. Maybe it could be repaired.
I I need a project. Daryl.
Oh, are you not occupied enough with your duties now?
Okay, listen. You can go 4 days. The soul is willing, but the flesh is, you know, yeah, it's just, yeah, hey, for those times to where you're tired, I can work on this, Yeah.
All right, keep your toy, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Plus, I don't really use weapons. It'd probably be nice to have something. How
Uh,
many people you see with a trident?
that's true. The only people that I do are kids that are trying to be she who dances with waves. And, if that is something you're into, more power to you.
I mean, you have called me just a really big kid, so it fits.
Okay, you know what? That's fair.
And he like takes the pieces of the trident and he like does this like stupid wavy dance. Look at me. I'm she who dances with waves. No, look. This is better. I'm he who spins a trident and drops one piece. He's like, shit.
Wow. I've never been more turned on in my life. Marry me. Take me away from this place.
Do you mean it?
She doesn't say anything, but she does smile and turns to go about her captainly duties.
And she turns away and he's just like, do
Holy
you
shit.
mean it?
It's at this point I feel that it would be probably good for a little bit of a break. So, to internet, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is so much fun. I love exploring this. It's so adorable too. Stick
Great
around.
time.
We'll be back in a few minutes as we can see what else happened to Merosha before he finds our adventuring party. But in the meantime, go get yourself a snack, get yourself a drink, do some stretches, take your medicine if you haven't. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. Hello again, internet. You're still here. Welcome, everybody. We are now going to shift gears a little bit. We'll say that Rain gets a message from one of her contacts from the Zesoran Magocracy, the person who made your gloves,
Mhm.
saying that there is something that must be explained to the crew, as there is some potentially world changing loot on the table. The Perino eventually docks, and the Magocracy is a much different vibe. Not only is it up north where it's colder, but it's very hoity toity. Everything up here is arcanotech. Everything up here is about the the panels talking to these experts on the different schools of magic, or the archmage who's visiting for a conference, or whatever. Everybody is so caught up with that it's a little difficult to really feel comfortable. But uh, there is one individual that, as you enter this rather excited but very hoity-toity bar, um, a mage who wears um, dark robes but with like a green sort of lining to them. And unlike typical wizard's robes or mage robes that you'd see in Eodrithe or Lothorn, these are form-fitting. These are there are some slight arcane runes that look like there's some sort of arcane enchantment upon them that allows them to wear just this no matter what environment they're in. They're more sleek, and it sort of lends itself to this vibe where everything up here up north is just so much more advanced. But he stands, and he's got a dark goatee and long black hair that sort of flows just perfectly at any given moment. And he says, "Rain, darling, was wondering when you would show up. Oh, yes,
Merosha.
yes, Merosha. My apologies. I am Sebastian. I typically correspond with. We've met before. What am I talking about?" And he'll like gesture for all of you to join him at a corner table on the plush chairs and whatnot. Rain just sort of like squeezes your hand. Just please don't kill him. I like him. He gives me money for things. Okay?
That's just, it's the, does the suit have to be that tight? Like, I mean, we get it.
I don't need to see his junk, but we're here for his money, not for his fashion sense. Okay?
Fine. Fine.
Okay. She walks with you. What?
Meeting the parents for the first time.
Yeah. she she sits across the table and sort of says, All right, Sebastian. What is this glorified loot that you're talking about? And his eyes lighten with excitement as he sort of leans forward a little bit closer just to make sure that you guys can hear him as he mutters an incantation. And about a foot away from the table, ringing around you, you can see this energy sort of rise, and it's like you're looking at a mirage at the rest of the room. Everything just sort of shifts and quiets around you. Oh, just for privacy. I don't really want anybody else to get in on this. This is a find of a lifetime. Several lifetimes, I believe. I may have found a temple that could hold the secret. And he like smiles a little too wide and he's like biting his finger. He's giddy.
Go on.
To eternal life.
Okay, this is Sebastian. Wonderful to meet you. Come on, Rain.
Wait. Okay, you wouldn't have brought us all the way out here if this was bullshit. Let's hear him out and just see what he says.
Okay.
Can you please sit down?
Yes, I'm sitting.
Thank you.
He just sits and he's like,
Yeah.
I wanted to go to GameStop.
The new WWE 2K game just came out. I had to go get it.
I pre-ordered my Switch. God damn it.
So stupid.
That's the air. He's sitting, he's like, all right, fine.
He produces a few things. He produces a few like rubbings of some carvings. He produces a map, and he produces a page written in a language that doesn't make any sense. It's geometric shapes and maybe some numbers. You're not quite sure how this works. But he says, all right, so I have devoted my life to finding the temple to the spirit of Lothorn. The spirits, they exist everywhere. We all know this. Well, I thought, what if there was a spirit to the entire continent itself? What if it exists, and what if we could find it? And so I managed to locate some. I can't seem to be excited when you're making that face. Could you try to put on something a little bit more exciting? Done. So, I believe I may have found it. This page, we've recovered it from some sort of vault. But when you combine it with these other pieces and these other maps, and he casts another spell, and that language on the page changes before your eyes and speaks of no end to life, no end to the breaths you take, no end to the steps. Basically, just repeated phrases over and over and over. He gestures to these carvings that show an individual before something enormous and beautiful and grand. And you see this map that has many different markings upon it. Clearly, some other vaults or spots where stuff was these sites were explored. That there is one circle, sort of in the center of it all. I believe here, if we can gain access to this temple, I believe we can speak with the spirit. I believe finding this spirit will grant us the ultimate boon. Think about it. And Rain Her expression shifts a little as she looks at all of these pieces before her. And she looks to you. Uh, um, I kind of want to go.
I okay. Okay. Sebastian,
Yes.
this boon of obviously it's referring to eternal life.
Yes.
Is it granted to who finds it, or is it granted to who it's bestowed upon? How are we to get this to you?
Oh, I'm just in it for the knowledge, really. If I could just accompany you on this venture, you don't understand. Knowledge is currency in the Majocracy. The more secrets, the more arcane knowledge we uncover about this beautiful world around us, that is what cements our name in the history books. My name would be known to all mages. That is what I want. That is what I need. That is what. And he, like, calms down a little as he realizes how manic he sounds. I have spent the entirety of my life searching for this temple. These pieces you see before you, I have recovered them over my life. And I finally at the finish line. If I can just do this, then none of them will be able to look down upon me again.
Is this bubble, is it, can you give myself and our captain a few moments?
Oh, yes, take it however much time you need. And he waves his hand, and instead of like modifying the bubble, there's just a wall of that same energy that cuts you off. And from this side, you could see his image is all like distorted and like sort of
Mhm.
like in fog. But you are
And
confident it
he
is just you and Rain.
Oh, okay, I am confident. Okay, because
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
like, Sebastian, Sebastian, you can't hear me, right? You're ugly. Your suit is stupid and form fitting and it's dumb. And I just want to make sure that you know that I think you're a big piece of shit. And I but but
Rain
he's
lets you
just
have
like,
this. Rain lets you
yeah.
have this. As you continue to rant.
Okay. I'm confident that he can't hear us.
Oh, what gave that away? The first insult or
Yeah.
the next 14?
Anyway, okay. We're not seriously thinking about doing this, are we?
Why not?
Why?
This could be an opportunity for something so much more than what we've been doing.
What's wrong with what we've been doing?
Nothing's wrong with it, just we could do it forever.
Why would you want to do that forever, though?
What? Okay. I don't plan on I don't plan on being on some beach, watching the other ships take off and have the adventures of their lives. I don't plan on being stuck in a chair and watching everything around me continue on while I wither away. That is not my future. I need
Brain.
this.
No, you. I'm not. And it goes from what are we doing to what are we doing. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm not asking you to give away your dreams or ambitions. We have time for that. It's what these moments are for. But what makes life worth seeking is knowing that it can end.
You. She
What
takes your
about,
hands.
we talked about this before. Like, once we've we've got in the hall, and the crew does their thing, that it would be me and you and whatever other little ones are abound. We can teach them to sail with the Pyrenees. We can turn the Pyrenees into our own home. Like it doesn't, the adventures don't have to end. They just change.
And I would love to see them change, but Merosha,
Say it. What is it?
you had the best possible version of the natural end that for your father. You had the nice version. He faded away doing what he loved and being embraced by that which never disappointed him, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. But my mother didn't. My mother faded. Her memory of me faded. Everything that made her the wonderful and beautiful person that she was faded before my eyes, and she looked at me as though I were just someone else in the street, and I don't want to ever put you through that.
I, I, I understand. I do. I that's that's not something anyone can easily digest ever. But your mother didn't fade. I'm I've never met her. But from what I know, from what you have told me, I'm looking at her now. She didn't fade. Same thing with you. You're not going to fade. You've left such a mark already, and think of what else we can do. We don't have to seek some otherworldly power to be here until the suns burn. What would you rather have? Would you rather no longer be here and know that you've left a mark on every person that you've touched? Or would you rather be here to see everything you touch go away?
Need you to make a persuasion check.
Oh. Oh. There's a 2.
Go ahead and roll it with advantage.
No.
Okay. She says, all right. Okay. Then we can go back to the Isles and see if there's any other jobs that we can look for.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
18.
She is not. She is not let go of this.
Hey!
The wall just. You could just wave next time, and I'd be able to let you know. And then,
Sorry. First time. Whatever.
Oh no.
I have questions, and I would ask that you answer them as clearly and as honestly as you possibly can.
Of course.
Beautiful. These maps, these etchings, you can assure us that it will lead us to whatever this vault is.
Yes.
And
With
your aim is
100%
to seek
certainty.
and your aim is to seek knowledge.
Yes. I want to be the one to introduce this knowledge to the world. That's it.
The agreement is this: you will have your knowledge in its all of its entirety. We on the Pyramid will have the spoils in all of its entirety, including that in your knowledge that you spread, it is named that Captain Rain is solely responsible for introducing this life changing news to whomever who consumes it. You can be the one to facilitate it. You can be the one to say that with your extensive research, it could not have come to pass. Take your celebrity in that guard. But when your name is uttered, it is immediately followed up by Captain Rain and her efforts. Not the crews, not the ships, hers. Anything material will be mine.
Rain, you can see in your peripheral vision, she looks at you. All right. I'd say that's fair. I'd say that's fair compensation for being a part of such a life-changing event. Of course.
Thank you. And I assume we have backing for supplies.
Oh, absolutely. Anything within my estate you can use as you wish. We do have several implements, arcane implements, if you would like, stuff to help you breathe underwater and that sort of thing. Um,
It's not a problem. Breathe underwater. We'll talk about it. Do you have a smithy?
oh, yes, we have many.
Beautiful. Your best, please.
I will assure nothing less. And with that, the illusion around you fades. And Sebastian rises from the table and says, I will send someone to you to function as your smithy. Um, I must report back. I must gather all the supplies and money and the backing. And he starts kind of muttering as he heads out the door.
Yeah. Merosha turns to Rainy and he goes, I've never lied to you. I've never minced my words. I've never been one to hold my tongue with you, and it's led to some disagreements. It's led to some very angry nights. But I do think you understand that I would never tell you something that was not true. I don't like this. I'm not comfortable with doing this mission. But I'm willing to push all of that aside to not ignore it, but forget it. If it means that you will be happy.
She smiles, and you can see that there is a little bit of a tear in her eye. Thank you.
You don't need to thank me, Captain. I'm doing my job.
You don't have to call me Captain all the time.
This is the second time today. I'm behind. Okay. What do you need from me?
Okay. And she sort of resets. Well, we need to get the crew updated. The location that he pointed on this map, and she slides it over. It's north of Lothorn in the sea. I don't understand that part, but if it's an underwater location, then we'll just need to prepare for a small group to make our way down there.
No. Looking at the map, the geometric shapes, are they consistent with constellations?
Make a nature check.
Nature. Okay. 15 total.
Okay. With the 15, yes, you can recognize constellations in these geometric shapes.
Okay. I give that terrain. Like, oh well, if you um hold on, grabs a paper and he starts dotting on it. And then he takes like a small flame and he puts the dotted paper over the other one. He looks at it and he goes, boom. Look at that.
You know, Filber being our navigator doesn't make sense if you can just immediately pull that stuff up.
Yeah, but he needs something to do.
Yeah, he's starting to get a little old, isn't he?
Yeah, which is weird because he's a gnome. You would think that, like, I don't think he's as old or as young as he says he is. Plus, and here's the biggest thing, it's easier to be the wise man and play the fool when everyone else thinks that they're wise themselves.
You know, that is true. I think you did that the night we met.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I was plastered though. I just couldn't I just couldn't I couldn't let you know that.
Mm. I did, but that's sweet.
Yeah, yeah. Now I know that now. But
So,
so
you and Rain return back to the ship. The journey to this location, you are given. Oh, actually, no. You had something you needed a smithy for.
I did.
Um,
I meet the
go ahead.
smithy in their shop,
Okay.
away from the ship, and I bring my trident.
You step into a smithy, and it is not the smithies you are used to. It is clean. It is warm. It is it is a building. It is not an open forge. You can see several um, look like tables of pure platinum with all sorts of arcane enchantments and um, tools that sort of hover above it. And there is a man, visibly human, with sunken features. He's got like the majority of his head is bald, but there is still those pieces that have grown out into long graying locks. He's got these glasses that have several different kinds of lenses that you can sort of flip as you need. And he has what looks like a book. Well, it's like the book cover. And as he holds it in front of him, there are symbols that sort of appear above it that he is sort of manipulating and shifting as the door opens and closes.
Yes, how may I help you?
Good day.
Hmm.
I have a request.
Yes. Oh, you're the one that Sebastian mentioned, yes?
Yes, that's me.
Well,
He closes the cover
how may I assist you?
and he approaches.
On our travels, I was able to find this, and he helped me brandish the two pieces. I was able to clean and sand it down, and it looks like it's some type of black obsidian stone, kind of similar to this. And he points at his bracelet. But I just from cleaning it, I feel like its surface is obsidian, but its core is some type of metal, and I do not have the tools to reforge this.
Understood. Yes, he gestures for you to place it down on one of these tables.
Hmm.
And within a moment, he again manipulates just some floating arcane runes that are like near the table, and the trident rises and floats. You watch as he spends a good couple minutes scanning and manipulating these runes before he says, "How old is this?"
Oh, I don't know. It had to have been ancient. The wreckage that we pulled it from seemed. I'm not good at carbon dating, but centuries, maybe.
Might be older. Well, regardless, I do have some residuum. Give me one moment. And he
Take your time.
steps away and brings back. And yes, internet, I'm pulling from Mercer. Judge me.
Okay. Fuck it.
Fuck it. He brings back a small leather bag filled with this fine green powder. He sort of sets it on this table. Oh, this might take a little while, but he begins to gesture, and as he does, there's these trails of this dust that sort of float up out of the leather bag and start to fill in the spot where the trident broke. And you watch as more and more of this fills that space, more than you would expect to fill in that break. And as he continues, you see that the trident glows a little before eventually the last little bit of that residuum falls into place, and there is a change to the color as it darkens and matches the color of the rest of the trident. And the moment that happens, there's this sheen that goes across the trident, almost as if any trace of dust or decay or imperfections immediately were all just completely mended. And he gestures once more, and the trident slowly rests back down on the table. Well, I suppose that should do it. Luckily, I had enough residuum on hand. Yes. It's interesting, though. I have to research. And he'll start, again, maneuvering those runes to sort of like document everything that he has seen. I'm going to... Thank you for bringing this. I know I fixed it for you, but thank you. You've given me something to research. This is new.
Is there anything that I should know, or?
I mean, it is particularly sharp, but that you understand. For those who wield it, if focused long enough, their fighting ability just sort of grows exponentially. So I would keep this item close. If it is attuned to you, you might find that at some point, whatever lies beneath will be yours to control.
Lies beneath.
Yes. Unfortunately, my implements, while state of the art, might I say, are unable to understand the nature of what lies beneath this black obsidian like material. I am certain that whatever does is quite powerful. I would urge caution. Old artifacts, while beautiful and influential, do have their dangers.
Understood. Okay. And he picks it up, and I think it kind of has like a bit more of a heft to it, and it does that movie-esque shing. Like it pulls up. He doesn't brandish it or anything, but he kind of tucks it behind him, and he your name?
Oh, my name, Imran.
Imran. It's wonderful to meet you.
Yes.
Merosha. What do I owe you? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Sebastian took care of that. On the house. And plus, you provided me some knowledge, and that is our currency. So,
If I could ask just for a bit more before I'm on my way, I have two questions. First question is, I've heard of a I'm not going to mince words. Do you know what boulade is?
damn it. Yes, I'm quite familiar. It's a delicacy up here. We actually have our own flavors.
Flavors?
Yes, we have, I believe the last I checked, we have 8 different flavors. Quite a
Eight,
variety.
eight different flavors. Okay. Do you have any or know where I can get some?
I mean, I don't personally. It's a bit sugary and sweet for my taste, but I do believe that our merchant in town might have some if you find yourself
Okay.
thirsty.
I got it. Yeah. I do a small bead of sweat. Um, my other my other actual question, um, the trident. Would you say in its properties it's conductive?
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you, Imran. A pleasure.
Oh, of course, Merosha. Whenever you find yourself in town, and if you wouldn't mind me taking a closer look at that trident from time to time, please, you are more than welcome.
Absolutely. Got to find what lies beneath.
I wish you luck.
Good day.
Yes.
And yeah, he goes to the ship to get ready.
All right. Um, do a little bit of a fast forward.
Mm-hmm.
The P&O sets sail. It's a couple days journey, and in that time, Rain is excited, and the crew is excited. There's some who are a little suspicious of going on this journey on a hunch, but eventually, you do come to the coordinates where below is said to be the entrance to this vault or temple or what have you. And Rain begins to suit up. Uh, she looks to you. I wouldn't really be able to do this without you. Um, listen, I'm sorry. I've been so focused on this. I know it's a bit much.
No. Two. The listen. The light in your eyes these past couple days has almost been addicting, and the crew can sense it. I can sense it. No, this is what captains do. They inspire. They motivate from their own ambitions. Don't apologize for that. I haven't seen Filbert move this fast in months. And of
she,
course, I wouldn't let you go at it alone.
before you can say anything else, she pulls you into a deep kiss.
No.
And when she pulls back, she says, I'm now going to tell you something that I've been thinking about telling you for a while now.
What?
If you asked, I would say yes.
Something to look forward to when we get back after we've changed the world.
Well, and she's a little giddy as she pulls back. We should do the focus on the
I mean, we
temple.
got 15 minutes.
You know, we do have a few minutes. They need to get stuff ready anyway. And she like
Yeah,
stomps.
absolutely. And just like, yeah.
Yes, yes. She stomps, grabs your arm, and just goes right to the captain's quarters. Oh, what comes next? I leave it up to Ian if Merosha holds on to in his memory.
Merosha's still sitting in that chair, in that office, in what he considered to be his home for so long, still hunched over. Crying has slowly stopped. He head still down, lifts it up slowly, and his eyes kind of meet level to the table. And right across, he sees a very smaller in size bracelet with a white stone in it. And he puts his head down again, and we are whisked to a deep cavern. It's a small troop of the crew. Surprisingly, Filbert is there. And they approach this inlay that has just been whittled away by like corrosion of water. Like this is a marvel to behold. The air's salty, but it's also very sweet. And the excitement of the crew is overshadowing the nervousness of Merosha as he watches Rain approach this onset altar. It's nothing impressive, easily missed. But he watches and he can hear every step, even over the cheers and jeers of this small troop. Yeah.
If I may. The crew fan out. This chamber is not the grandiose design that Sebastian had stated. In fact, it's quite the opposite. This altar, you can see that there were stones, almost like Stonehenge, very rudimentary, very old, long since weathered of any detail, sort of balanced against each other and sort of form a like a quarter or three-quarter circle around this small sort of rise of the stone. It's not even really an altar. It's just a space with a maybe a 2 foot long little platform that rises maybe a couple feet from the ground. Rain looks around, and you can see that that excitement has shifted to a growing anxiety. And even Sebastian is moving about the room. Oh, well, this is not. I don't understand. And you can see Rain is looking everywhere. No, 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 no. Come on. Come on. No, there's got to be something here. She's moving debris, she's moving anything. And as she does, there's a rumble. It's slight at first, but it quickly grows. What do you do?
In this moment, Marusha is grasping onto his trident and he's trying his best to maintain his focus on Rain, but this rumble is almost creating this tunnel vision. And he's trying his best to direct that on Rain wherever she moves, but he is struggling. And he's trying to call out for her. And it just sounds like a deep, far away echo. It's just, Rain, we need to go. Rain. And it's just that, but it's getting quieter. And his vision is dialing in on her as it seems like black walls are caving in on his vision from his peripheral.
That rumble continues as Rain eventually stands. She has something in her hand. And you catch a glimpse of this rough black crystal. where light swallows inside of this thing. And as she holds it, she looks up and locks eyes with you. Just as that rumble turns, the walls, the rough walls where your torchlight illuminates some of the shadows and creates others, that shadow you can see start to snake along the wall. You see all of the dark corners of the cave that you're in start to shift and change. You see more and more of these shadowy tendrils start to crawl across the ground. Some of the crew start to realize what's happening. They immediately, start and try to move away as they all start moving towards this altar. Rain struggles as it looks like she's trying to drop this thing in her hand. As you start to see that crystal, the darkness of it start to crawl up her hand. Merosha, I can't let it go. I can't let it go. It won't let me let it go. I don't know what's going on. And she immediately starts to panic as she's trying to let this go. The cavern around you continues to shake around you. What do you do?
Merosha picks up. He begins to run, but he can't move. And he is struggling and screaming at the top of his lungs as physically he feels himself picking up his legs and hightailing it as he's screaming for rain. And he can't move.
You watch as this energy circles around Rain as more and more of her form gets swallowed into this inky darkness that is emitting from this crystal. You hear her scream as she's trying to run towards you, and she manages to get just close enough where your fingertips touch before this energy that is coalesced behind her. You see her form get yanked back into the shadow behind her. And her form disappears into that inky blackness as the cavern around you continues to shake. Pieces of that stone around you start to crash to the ground. It crashes on top of Sebastian. You see several of the crew immediately fly into a panic, and Henrik runs up behind you and grabs your arm. We have to go. We have to go now. We have to get out of here.
It's such a struggle. It's a struggle, but Merosha's strength is not focused in on fighting Henrik. He's not giving in, but he is trying to push forward as Henrik is pulling him back. And it's just this distant echo of him just yelling the most primal scream, almost stronger than the rumbles of this cavern for rain. And he's yelling himself hoarse. And unless you have something else, he's screaming, it's just rain, rain. And it gets quiet, and then it echoes and booms so loudly as he's sitting in the chair, in the office, in the room, screaming for rain. When he realizes, he opens his eyes from squeezing them so tight to where his eyes are hazy. He opens it up and he looks at the desk, and he has pummeled this desk with his fists, fighting himself. And in each hit on the table, him remembering trying to fight from getting pulled away from trying to get terrain. There's scorch marks, deep, heavy scorch marks. As when he hit the table every single time, the runes on his gloves ignited.
I'm going to give you one more moment. You are back on the ship. It's that night. Everyone is quiet, numb, even. And as you sit with the knowledge of what happened underneath, you hear a voice. This is what happens when you take something of mine. And in the peripheral vision, you can see Sebastian, but not. His body is broken. His arm is out of its socket. You can see a huge dent in his chest where one of those stone pillars had fallen upon him. You see his face covered in blood. You watch in your peripheral vision as that form slowly shifts. You see that toy was not meant for hands of a mortal, a nameless waste. No. I am happy that you found it, though. And the form continues to change. The robes have now shifted to white robes with some sort of golden accoutrement. His skin turns a mottled green. You hear the sickening pops of his body as it returns to a healthy form, and you can see in your peripheral vision that antler-like horn. Well, how unfortunate for your friend, though. Well, perhaps she's enjoying some of the eternal life she so sought, so desperately. I wasn't expecting that, though. That's unfortunate. I haven't introduced myself. I might be a divine, but I have manners. And you see this form bow. I am he who lies. And that is where we're going to end tonight's flashback session.
Yes.
Yeah, just because it was a flashback doesn't mean I'm not going to give you more shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, LB, Aaron, Noir, Nerdy, you fucking missed out. this was this was it. This was it. Miss all of you, and I hope you're having a wonderful time.
Yes, we love you. We miss you. Thank you all for being a part of tonight's episode. Um, this is not the norm, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to make it a norm. At least with this campaign, this group
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
people, I
yeah.
want these moments, these little solo flashback sessions. Um, Ian, the floor is yours. Where can we find you? What would you like to plug? What do we have to look forward to see more of your beautiful face?
This is what I want to plug. I want to plug this. Cujo provides such a wonderful and comfortable, inclusive, collaborative, creative, interesting table. This is my first time being under what I now consider their tutelage as a DM. And he consistently knocks it out of the park, whether or not he wants to admit it. So I'm going to do it for him. Cujo is one of the best DMs out there, and I am very lucky to have been DM'd by some wonderful people who are all top tier. And Cujo is on my short list of those people. I that's what I'm going to plug. I'm Ian, or your boy Big on all social media. If you want to know what I'm doing next, you can follow me on Twitter if you're still using it. But if you're not using it, go to my Twitter, hit my link tree where you can find all of my other socials, and you'll see what I'm doing there. I will definitely be back at this table next Thursday to tell an amazing story with the rest of this wonderful cast of friends and this amazing DM. And if you haven't, subscribe to this channel, follow Crit Hit Chronicles, because the stories that are being told here on Thursdays and Fridays will make your week. And if you have the honor, the chance, the absolute blessing of playing in one of Cujo's games, clear your fucking schedule because you're going to want to do it. That's it.
Damn it. That means so much to me. Thank you. Buy our merch. I don't
Hit the store.
fuck. Jesus. You
Take us
can
home.
you can find me everywhere as either Cujo Plays Games or Critic Chronicles. Um, the link tree is attached to the channel. Fuck. Thursdays we have the Tales of the Valiant. Fridays we have Shadows over Baldur's Gate. Um, this upcoming Tuesday is going to be the finale for Vampire Societies over at Folk and Myth. Folk and Myth, we love you so much.
Also
Um,
on my short list of DMs. Oh, what's up,
mhm,
Oos?
mhm. Um, on Wednesdays, you can catch me over at Nerd Immersion playing some D&D or diving into the new rules. Fuck. Actually, now I can talk about it. Next week, December 14th, which is a Saturday, we're having a special stream. It will be 4 years of me being on Twitch, and the first year of Critic Chronicles will be coming to a close. So come and join us for a special party stream where we hang out. Anybody who's been a part of my games are welcome to jump in and hang out in a big Discord call. Fuck it, I don't care. We'll just hang out and tell some stories and do some weird shit. I don't know. But tune in that night because there's going to be some announcements for next year. We're going to have some campaigns announced and future plans. If you are going to be in the area, I will be flying out tomorrow night to Philadelphia for PAX Unplugged. If you see me, come up, say hello. I do accept hugs. And if you've noticed, I'm not wearing the the Chronicler tonight. And that's because I've packed that outfit along with the Chronicle. Because on Saturday, for a good chunk of the day, I will be walking the floor as the Chronicler. So if you see me, come up and say hello. Um, this was honestly, this was one of my favorite TTRPG experiences. Ian, you are a. I'm doing a gold star now. I don't give a shit. You are a dynamo of a role player. You always come to the table with this infectious energy and an impossible smile that brightens everybody's day. It doesn't matter how insane or stressful or crazy things have been. Getting to share a table with you and tell these stories is a blessing, and it's an honor, and it's a privilege. You are always welcome at my table, period. So thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you for being a part of this. It really means a lot. I also understand being a part of a one-on-one session where we're going to dive into some real heavy topics. Not a whole lot of people would be up for, and it means a lot that you were in. So I really want to thank you for being a part of this. I love you very dearly.
Love you too, brother.
Well, now that all this sappy shit's out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and get our raid started up for Captain Robert. Uh, it says that
Woo!
they're playing some D&D. Actually, there might not be. Now that I think about it, I think he's in Philly. I wonder if it's a rerun. Pretty sure it's a rerun. We're gonna shift gears to Arclight Court. Arclight is playing some Marvel Rivals, so go and give them some love. Tell them I sent you. Um, Seriously, thank you all for your support. I love this community. I love being a part of this. I love being able to tell stories like this. So, thank you. We love you very much. Please be nice to each other, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.